So hi everyone, am I audible? Not only production planning team, but the forecasting team and other team to plan their production. Okay. And about me, I have been working into the APO sector for more than 9 years now, and I've worked with industries like textiles, FMCGs, automobile, pharma, paper, carbon chemicals. So all these varied industries are using APO, and if we see the same tool has been configured for different business in a different flavor. Okay, so in terms of learning APO, we call it as a generic tool. Okay, but when it gets implemented in a business, it gets implemented or customized as per the business process. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. So Robin, if you can just give a quick brief about you and uh, that will be and probably what is your expectation.
Yeah.
So, so Robin, are you in SAP background?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So are you from SAP background or how?
Yeah, I can see. Kumar.
Uh, so Robin, you're from SAP background?
Sorry.
You are from SAP background, like are you working into SAP or you're into some functional process?
I'm working with APO now, and I would like to know more about APO overview and our APO process and PBDS also.
Great, great, great. So you're already working with APO right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, and which module you're working with? In that case, I would assume you're working with DPSNP. Is that correct?
Hello,
So
Kumar. Hello, Kumar.
yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Uh, Sorry, can you send me this slide after the meeting?
Uh, who is this? Okay. So who else is there in the call?
Hi Roy, my name is Dinakaran.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm into
And,
SAP background. I'm into ABAP for the past 11 years.
okay. Okay.
And
So have you? Dinakaran, have you been into any APO project as a ABAPer?
not yet, but I'm going to be into one right now.
Great, great, great. So you are going to be into APO. So have they given you any clarity like DP, SNP, PPDS? What
Yeah, it's
exactly?
it's PPDS. It's production planning and detailed scheduling. That's what I'm looking into.
Okay, okay, that's what we are going to look into. That's great. Thanks, Dinakaran, for sharing that.
Thanks, thanks Roy. Yeah, bye.
Yeah. So who else is there in the call? Okay. So Paul, you're there in the call. I can see him. Who else? I can see a lot of there in the call. But anyway, what we'll do is that we will start with our session, and then at the later session, if we have doubts, we will take that. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So so basically, when we talk about APO, APO is basically a planning tool. Okay, and so with APO planning, there are four major sections. One is demand planning, one is supply network planning, one is PPDS, and one is GATP. Okay, so these are the four solutions or four segment of solution available with APO. Okay, now this demand planning module is basically a forecasting tool. Okay, so what do I mean by forecasting? Forecasting means predicting about possible customer demands of the future. Okay, so for example, if we go to any store today and ask for a simple object like a pen, what does the storekeeper does? He just takes out that pen and hands over to us. Okay, so that is possible because the business has forecasted that some customer would come and request for a pen. Okay, so that's what the demand planning comes into, that's where the demand planning process comes into play, where it tries to give us a future prediction of the demands, and by future predicting it wants to ensure two things. One, it is not overproduced, and second, it is not underproduced. Okay, so that's demand planning module. Now once you have done the demand planning, that means you have understood what is the possible future demand. The question is how you are going to satisfy those, or how the stock is going to come. Okay, because you have demand, and ultimately to satisfy the demand you need stock. So there are two options to get the stock. One is either you buy it or you make it. If you buy it, the question will be which vendor, because you might, as a business, you might have many vendors which can supply you that stock. Okay, and if you make it, the question comes which plant should make it. Okay, so which plant should make it and which vendor should supply it is being decided by your supply network planning. Okay, and supply network planning does the planning at a cross plant level. Okay, so what do I mean by cross plant planning? You might have many DCs, you might have many plants, and there could be constraints in some plants due to many different varied factors, and that constraint might impact some other plant, another DC. So all those constraints is taken in the and then supply network planning gives its planning results. Okay, so that's SNP, which helps us to identify the best possible vendor or the best possible plant which can provide us the stock which is being planned as per the demand planning. Okay, so that's yes. Okay. That's one second. So that is SNP. Can't do that. Okay. So further to SNP, you have PPDS. Okay. So Kumar, you can mute anybody if I mean the speaker is on. Okay. So further to SNP, you have PPDS. Okay. What is PPDS? PPDS is a plant level optimization. So we have demand planning, in which we have done the forecasting. We have SNP, where we have decided which vendor and which plant are supposed to manufacture it. Now we know which plant are supposed to manufacture it, but we want to optimize that output of the plant. Let's say that plant has planned to manufacture 200 units in a month. Okay, but can I make 200 units in 28 days or 25 days by doing some sequencing or optimization of that production plan? So that kind of activity is basically done by PPDS. It's a plant level optimization of your production plan done under PPDS. And you have GATP, which is global available to promise. And global available to promise basically deals with the sales order delivery date confirmation. Okay, so let's say you have a customer which, who has requested or delivery date, but can we really satisfy the delivery date? So let's say there's a sales order asking for the delivery by 12th of February, and the sales order is created on 1st of January. So when the system does an ATP check, it will see which of the plants has stock. Okay, if there is stock, it will confirm the sales orders, or if there is no stock, GATP can also trigger PPDS. Okay, and ask PPDS to look for a plant that can best manufacture this, give the planned order there, and again bring the confirmation date back to the sales order. Okay, so let's say the customer has asked you for 12th of February, but after the confirmation the given is 13th of Feb. Okay, 30th of Feb. So if the customer is okay with this delay of 18 days, you can save the sales order. Or if the customer says no, this delay is not fine, you just come out of the VA01, that is a sales order creation screen, and everything will be rolled back. Okay, So is the big picture clear to everyone, or anybody has any doubts in terms of this basic 4 modules? Okay, so I guess I'll take it as more or less the basic picture of demand planning, which is supposed to do the forecasting, supply network planning, which is supposed to do rough cut planning and find out the suitable plants and vendors to do the manufacturing of the, and then PPDS is supposed to do the optimization of the production plan at a plant level, and GATP is supposed to help us with the sales order delivery date confirmation. When can we actually satisfy this? Okay, we'll go a little bit more into the detail and we'll talk about the APO architecture. Okay, so this is a slide where we are talking about the APO architecture, and if you see the APO architecture, it is kind of connected to 2 systems. One is your OLTP system and one is your OLAP system. So OLTP stands for Online Transaction Processing System and OLAP stands for Online Application Processing System. Okay, so what does this OLTP means? OLTP means Online Transaction Processing System. Okay, so if anybody is aware of transaction processing, so why do we do most of the transaction in SAP? We do it in SAP ERP. Okay, and what are the kind of transactions we do? We do sales order creation, we do purchase order creation, we do good receipts, we do delivery, we do various kinds of transactional activities in ECC. Okay, so all this transactional data as well as the master data is bought from the OLTP system into APO using a process called as a core interface. Okay, so core interface is a standard SAP given module, not an expensive one, but a module using which the data is pulled from ECC to APO. Okay, that's one kind of interface called as a core interface, connecting OLTP system and the APO system. Apart from core interface, there is also a BW interface. Okay, so the BW interface also is capable of extracting some kind of data from ECC to APO. Okay, all these are standard SAP given interfaces, so no coding is required, just configurations. So that's where OLTP system is coming in to place, where all the transactions are getting executed. We have APO system, which is extracting those transactional data from ECC to APO, and then based on those transactional data, it is trying to do execute its processes. And on the right hand side, we can see a OLAP system. Okay, so OLAP means Online Application Processing System, specifically referring to the SAP BW BI tool.
Sorry, is it analytical processing or application processing? Online analytical processing or
you can call it application processing or analytical processing also. Okay.
Okay, fine.
The thing is that all your reports that you generate is in terms of SAP or any kind of other reporting tool, it will fall under OLAP. So APO basically has its own internal OLAP tool or the BI tool, the business intelligence. All the functionalities that you find in an external BI tool, you will find that also inside APO. Okay, and that's why it's easier to connect the internal APO BW with an external BW or a BI tool. Okay, but the internal APO BW BI tool is not used for reporting purpose. Okay, it's just used for I mean, maybe you can create 1 or 2 small reports, that is fine, but still we don't use APO internal BW for reporting purpose. It's mostly used for data storing and anything you want to do with the data. Okay, now again, so this is your OLTP system, this is the OLAP system, and between is the APO system, and APO has demand planning, supply network planning, PPDS, GATP. Deployment is also a process, TLB is another process, and you have a module that is called as TPVS, but TPVS is, I mean, kind of SAP has a new module for this called as the transportation management entirely for this. Okay, and in terms of APO planning sequence, we start with DP, we go to SNP, and then we go to PPDS, but it's not mandatory for all organization. Okay, it depends upon the manufacturing strategy the business is following. Let's say if it is a make to order business, okay, primarily make to order business, it will not go for DPS and P. It will be primarily dependent upon PPDS. Okay, so which module to select, which sequence to go for in terms of planning, that will differ from business to business, but the ideal sequence is DP, SNP, and PDS. Okay, so that's more or less the APO architecture. You have APO in between, you have the ECC system connected to APO using core interface, and you have the OLAP system. Okay, let me come out of the session. So as you can see, this is my APO system. Okay, so like you have an ECC box, which is a separate thing. So like you have an ECC box, and under which you have this SD, PP, PM, all these modules. Under the APO box, advanced planning and optimizer box, you will find here demand planning, supply network planning, GATP, and PPDS listed. Okay. So, so moving forward a little bit, we'll go a little bit more about it. Okay. So, so as I already said, what is demand planning module? Demand planning module is basically trying to predict the forecast in future. Okay. Apart from forecasting the future, demand planning module has things like life cycle planning. Okay. So life cycle planning is basically used to predict demand of products which are newly introduced in the market. Okay. So since these products are newly introduced in the market, we don't have a sales history or any past specific pattern which we can refer. Okay. So in that kind of situation, we will be using life cycle planning to predict the demand of a new product launched. Again, there will be some specific characteristics of this product launch. The sales will immediately not rise. There will be a launch phase in which the sales will gradually increase. There will be an aggregated stage, and there will be end of life. So such kind of things can be mapped with demand planning. Under life cycle planning, you have promotion planning to map your advertising campaigns, and you have seasonal planning kind of forecasting process. So seasonal planning is basically getting applied to your garments or that kind of manufacturing process. So you have garments or textiles, all this manufacturing, or maybe even ice creams, that will fall under a seasonal planning. Okay, so certain seasons, like in summers you want more ice cream, and in winters you don't want it, so that kind of pattern. Okay. Now going into a little bit details, what are the concepts that we see in terms of demand planning? We understand the info cube, the transfer structures and VW concepts. What is DTP, what is info package, how those are used to extract data from ECC. After that, we see about the CVC creation, also called as the master data. We see about MPOS planning area, create planning book, and then once we are done with the planning book, we talk about forecasting, promotion planning, life cycle planning, and few other topics. Okay, so let me go to one transaction called as SDP94. Okay, so this SDP94 displays you a planning book. Okay, and there are numerous planning book. Okay, and planning book is a place where we do our forecasting process. Okay, so we talk about planning book creation, forecast calculation. So there are different kind of forecasting technique: univariate, MLR, composite. Okay, promotion planning, life cycle planning, mass processing, background jobs, process chains, macros, and proportional factors. So once this entire process is laid down, you have something called as process chains, and the same can be accessed through RSPC, and your entire demand planning process will be set up in the background. Okay, so something like this. Okay, if you go into this part, and if you go into this demand planning section, you will find all the different processes that are done in the demand planning listed here. All you need to do is that just drag and drop and give the variant and create a sequence like that, and just click on start and give the date and time. So automatically at that time this process will start running. So as a business process, many of the time, except the IT team, the other team would never know that what is happening. I mean, because they would be, because this jobs all will be running in the background. Okay, so these are the few things that we discuss in terms of demand planning. So anybody has any doubts, questions they want to ask from demand planning? No. Okay. So we will move forward. So now we know the demand. Okay. Now we know what are the future expectations that might come from the customer. But the question is, when that expectations comes, how do we satisfy the goods, or how do we satisfy give the stocks to the customer? So as I said, that will be done by S&P. Okay. So when we are planning with S&P, what we do is that we first create all our distribution centers, we create all our plants. Rather than creating, we kind of bring them from ECC to APO. Okay. And what we do in ECC, in APO additionally, is we connect our DC and plants through something called as transportation lane. Okay. So and after connecting that, we can call it our supply network. Okay, so what do I mean by supply network? This DC can take the stocks only from plant this and plant this, because the transportation lane is connected. It is not connected to this plant. Why? Because probably there could be some legal issues. Probably this plant doesn't manufacture the stocks. This dispatches. Probably the geographical distance between these two locations may be too high. So whatever the reasons may be, based on that we connect our DCs and plants, and the plants are supposed to manufacture, ultimately produce a stock, send it to the DC, and DCs are supposed to dispatch it. So to do that, we create our supply network first. Once the supply network is created, we start sending all our master data from ECC to APO. Okay, so whether we start with PP or we start with S&P, whatever, you need to understand ECC master data specifically on the production planning part and some part of the MM. Okay, so we will also discuss that. So some of the master data that we discuss generally in ECC are your product master, resource master, BOM, routing, production versions, then vendors, purchase info records. So all this master data we see how do we create in ECC, and again through core interface how do we bring the same master data to APO. Okay, so once the supply network is set up, once the master data is in, what we do is we bring the forecast from DP to S&P. And now S&P is ready to plan. It has the master data and it has the forecast released, and that's where you have three planning engines to do the planning. You have S&P heuristic, you have S&P optimizer, and you have CTM. Okay, so these are the three planning engines. The logic or the output of this three planning engine is same. That is creation of planned orders or creation of purchase requisitions. Purchase requisition is created in case we plan to buy, planned order in case you want to manufacture. Okay, but the logic with which it creates is different. Okay, it will be too early to discuss the logic of these three, but we have three engines. One is S&P heuristic, optimizer, and CTM to do this planning. Further to that, we have deployment and TLB. So deployment, in other words, we can say it is the confirmation, planning confirmation process, and TLB deals with using optimum vehicle loads. Okay, so it deals with what is the optimum vehicle you can use to load your vehicles. So that is transport load builder. So what are the topics that we see in terms of S&P? We see the master data in ECC, we see the master data in APO, we talk about core interface, planning book creation, the three planning engines, deployment, TLB, safety stock planning, process chain, macros, and subcontracting process. Okay. So these are the few topics in terms of S&P. And as I said, S&P is suitable for doing a cross-plant planning, rough cut. With PPDS, the prime focus is to optimize the production of a specific plant. Okay, here we are not talking about much about cross-plant planning and understanding the constraints of other plant. It is mostly to do with plant level optimization. So again, PPDS is suitable for plant level planning. It is a time continuous planning. Okay, so what does it mean? With S&P, you cannot get hours, minutes, and second level of details. So what will S&P do is, whenever you create a planned order, it will say the planned order will be ready by 26 January. Okay, but it will not say at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 30 minutes. It will not give you that. Okay, so to give that kind of details, you have to come into PPDS, which can give you hour, minutes, and second level of details. So this is a time continuous planning. It's a heuristic based planning. Okay, so what do I mean by heuristic based? If I still have it, no, I've logged out. So PPDS has many heuristics, and those heuristics you can see under SPR. Go to SAP-IMG reference, advanced planning and optimization. Go to supply chain planning. Go to this PPDS, and under that you have heuristics, and under that you have maintain heuristics. Okay, so these are the all different heuristics which PPDS has, and you can use any specific combination of heuristics to create your production planning run. Okay, that's why, and each heuristics has its own different outputs. Okay, so it's a heuristic based planning. You have various kind of optimization planning in terms of PPDS. So one kind of optimization is sequence optimization, and this is a little bit advanced because the standard SAP certification doesn't talk about all this optimization. So sequence optimization can be used in paint industry or pharma industry. And let's say this is a production plan. This looks like, okay, based on the delivery dates of the sales order, the system has created this production plan for a paint industry, saying it should manufacture red, blue, all this kind of products. But the problem with this production plan is if you make red, okay, after that if you want to make blue, you will have to clean up the red vessel and make it ready for blue. Again, once you have made blue and you want to make red, you have to again clean your vessels and make it ready for red. So instead of that, the system taken sequence optimization run, and it brings all the red order together, all the blue, green. So there is no switching from red to blue, blue to red. Again, you make red in one go, you make blue in one go. Okay, so this kind of sequencing planning run of bringing the similar kind of orders together so that the setup time and wastages during setup is reduced is called sequence optimization. There are other kinds of optimization also. Again, all industry will not use all optimization. It would be industry specific solutioning, okay, in terms of optimization. Apart from that, PPDS is the only module that supports variant configuration and characteristics dependent planning. Okay, if you have variant config, it is not going to be supported by SNP, so you'll have to use PPDS. Also, PPDS has DS board, that is graphical planning board, which is used to plan your orders graphically. It has enhanced reporting tool and integrates with GATP. Okay, some of the concept that we discuss in PPDS are, we discuss about ECC master data, we talk about APO master data, we talk about core interface, different kinds of heuristic explanations. So we talk around 15 to 20 commonly used heuristics. We understand how does the MRP planning logic works in APO. We talk about setup sequencing, block planning, shelf life planning, then PPDS optimizer, subcontracting, and detailed scheduling board. Okay, I'll not go into GATP as of now, but just to give it a very small input. GATP is basically global available to promise and related to sales order delivery date confirmation. Okay. Further, few more information. Out of all the 4 modules, DP is easy, okay, because it requires very little knowledge in terms of functional processes. SNP is neither easy nor difficult. With PPDS, it gets a little bit difficult because it requires some functional exposure. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if you don't have it, you cannot learn it. But yes, having some functional exposure from production planning background helps you to get a little bit more picture about PPDS. And GATP is kind of, I mean, neither easy nor hard. Again, it's also okay. Okay, and so that's it from my end. If you ask. I don't know who all are there in the call.
Yeah, hi,
So,
Roy.
yeah. Yes. Tell me.
Yeah, it is production planning, as you were mentioning that it requires little bit of functional knowledge of
Correct.
PP. So I have knowledge of some textile industry. I have been there in the plant, and I have worked in the textile industry.
Which textile industry you've worked with?
In the garment industry, in the garment industry.
What is the name
So
of it? Name of it?
it's Bharat Silks, or the Bharat Silks, where exactly they go and prepare the cushion covers and all this stuff. So,
Okay, okay. I worked with Belsman, so
is
so
it?
I know.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me. So
Will it
PPD is for, yeah. Tell me. Tell me.
So will it really help with that kind of knowledge, or do we need to really have some SAP functional PP knowledge, or
No, see, I'm not asking you the SAP PP knowledge because anyway that I'll cover that part. That is not the problem. The problem is when you work as a production planner, okay, in a shop floor, uh, you will see some challenges, okay, when you're doing that production planning, okay, like scheduling your order or kind of issues with raw materials or issues with I mean raw material so all this. So if you have some exposure to that kind of issues, maybe it can help you to understand why SAP has created this software in this manner. Okay, obviously the standard SAP is not so capable that it can handle requirements from textiles. Okay, textiles is a little bit complex because when you talk about textile, the process is that it starts with spinning, it moves to weaving, it moves to processing, it moves to garments, and then embroidery, whatever you want to do. Okay, and if you see each of these business processes in textiles, it is very complex. I mean, specifically if you see this yarn dyeing process, and then each of these processes are complex, so some requirements we can map and some we keep it out of the system. Okay, but yes, anyway, if you have some exposure to production planning, that will help on a functional perspective, not on system perspective, because whatever is needed in the system, we will discuss that.
Hi, this is Srinivas here. I
Yes,
want
Srini.
to know about GATP. What are all the topics covered in GATP?
Okay. Okay, sure. I'll go back to that GATP slide. So as I said, GATP is Global Available to Promise, and it deals with sales order delivery date confirmation. And as such, it's not a very big module. It's a considerably smaller module. And the first process in GATP is called ATP check methods. Okay, so in ATP check methods, we have product check, we have product allocation, we have check against forecast, and combination of all this. So basically, these methods deal with how you can confirm it in sales order. So let's say you have something called as a check instruction. In that check instruction, you have said that ATP check confirmation needs to happen based on forecast. So if you have a forecast, the sales order will get confirmed as per the forecast date. Now suppose you have selected product confirmation based on product allocation. So product allocation is like, let's say you have a product and you are selling it to many customers, but one customer decide that he will take the entire stock. So if such kind of situation happen, what will happen? The other customers will go out of business, and finally this customer will do a monopoly, which is not good for your business. So to do that, you have product allocation, and in that you restrict what amount of good can be taken by a specific customer in percentages or in some absolute quantities. Okay, so that's product allocation. And similarly you have product check. So we discuss about the basic ATP check methods. Along with that, we discuss in this check method also the GATP rules, how to configure the GATP rule. So using GATP rule, you can do a multi-plant ATP check, and you can do other things also. Apart from that, in GATP you have two more processes. One is called the CTP and one is called the MLATP. Okay, so CTP is capable to promise and MLATP is multi-level ATP check. So CTP basically triggers PPDS. Okay, so to understand CTP process, if you have understanding of PPDS, it helps because the entire master data like your material masters, BOM, routing, PDS, all those things are going to come. You do an ATP check, it triggers PPDS because it doesn't find any. So we discuss about CTP, we discuss about MLATP, and we discuss about back order processing. Okay, so these are the primary topics that we discuss in terms of GATP. Okay, so if you have anything apart from this, which you can tell me, maybe we can include that also. So yes, anybody has any further questions we
Yes,
can take?
we have
Anything?
Mr. Krishnan with us. Krishnan, can you hear us? Mr. Krishnan?
Yeah, I think Krishnan is there, but his mic is mute. So if you can unmute, we will be able to hear him.
Hi, this is Anand.
Oh, fine.
Are you referring to me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Anand, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was more inclined to GATP module. So I'm not a functional user or a configurer, but I'm a supply chain consultant. I'm working on some of the stuff related to ATP, such as ATP blocks, some product direction and stuff like that. So would those be covered in that? So
Which one? Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? I didn't get it.
yeah, so I'm a supply chain consultant, and I am now working on some of the aspects of ATP blocks, like allocation block, ATP block, shipping capacity block, etc., etc. So would going through the session help me in better understanding of that?
Yes, that's correct. We will be taking care of this product allocation, but yes, you can do it at different levels and different complexities. So if you have any scenario, we can take that, but we will be taking product allocation.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Fine. Okay. Mr. Robin, you want to ask any questions?
No, thank you. I don't have any questions.
Oh, fine, okay.
So, if you have any other course, can you email to me?
Mr. Robin, can I know which module you are looking out like?
What? I'm looking for the own detail about the SAP APO module. So today we just have the header, right?
Fine. Anup, can you understand? I'm unable to.
No, Robin, currently you are working into SAP, Robin?
Yes.
And which module of SAP you're handling with?
I'm working in the module PPMM and IPO also.
So you are already aware of this, right? APO. So APO has 4 segments: PP, SMP, PPDS, and PATP. So which segment out of this would be more interested?
I'm interested about the SMP module.
Okay, so you are interested about SNP. Okay, so again, speaking about SNP, we are talking about master data in ECC, all the SNP related. We are talking about core interface. We are talking about master data in APO. We are talking about the 3 planning engines in SNP, that is optimizer, CTM, and heuristic. And we are also talking about deployment and TLB. Okay, that's a complete life cycle, end-to-end life cycle for SNP.
Okay.
So if you have any other specific thing that you want to know, you can also include that. Maybe we will include. That's fine.
Sure. Fine. We have with Srinivas is already done, and we have Sridhar with us. Sridhar, can you hear us? Sridhar? Okay, fine. We will wrap up this session. We will send you a mail, a recorded version of this demo, and also will send you the latest schedules about all the modules when we are going to start. For any kind of queries, you can contact us at +91 99593 12222 or else at info@vistasIT.com. So we are closing. If any last questions are there, you can ask them. Fine, thank you. Anup, thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks everyone.
Okay, thank you very much.